brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Bruce Johnston. Bruce Arthur Johnston is an American singer, songwriter, and record producer best known as a member of the Beach Boys. In 1965, Johnston joined the band for live performances, filling in for the group's co-founder Brian Wilson, who had quit touring in order to spend more time in the studio. Johnston then became a contributing member on subsequent albums. He is also known for his early 1960s collaborations with Terry Melcher as Bruce and Terry and with the surf band the Rip Chords, as well as composing the 1975 Barry Manilow song, I Write the Songs. Early life. As a child, Johnston was adopted by William and Irene Johnston of Chicago, and grew up on the west side of Los Angeles in Brentwood and Bel Air. His adoptive father was president of the Owl Rexall Drug Company in Los Angeles after moving from Walgreens in Chicago. Johnston attended the private Bel Air Town and Country School in Los Angeles and studied classical piano in his early years. 1957–65 beginnings. In high school, Johnston switched to contemporary music. He performed in a few beginning bands during this time and then moved on to working with young musicians such as Sandy Nelson, Kim Fowley, and Phil Spector. Soon Johnston began backing people such as Ritchie Valens, the Everly Brothers, and Eddie Cochran. In 1959, while still in high school, Johnston arranged and played on his first hit record, Teen Beat by Sandy Nelson. The single reached the Billboard Top 10. The same year, Johnston made his first single under his own name, Take This Pearl, on Arwen Records as part of the Bruce and Jerry duo. In 1960, Johnston started his record production career at Delphi Records, producing 5 singles and an album, Love You Sir by Ron Holden. In 1962 and 1963, Johnston continued his recording career with a series of Surfin' singles and an album, Surfin' Round the World, credited to Bruce Johnston, and another, Live, album, the Bruce Johnston Surfin' Band Surfers Pajama Party. In 1963 came the first collaboration with his friend Terry Melcher, a mostly instrumental covers album credited to the Hot Doggers. The first artist the pair produced was a group called the Rip Chords. Johnston and Melcher were now working as staff producers at Columbia Records, Hollywood, and by the time they were producing the million-selling Hey Little Cobra, a knockoff of the Beach Boys' car song, vocal style. They also wound up singing every layered vocal part for the recording using an Ampex 3-track recording machine. The two of them made a few recordings as Bruce and Terry and the Rogues, but Melcher began to focus more on his production career. 1965–72, The Beach Boys. On April 9, 1965, Johnston joined the Beach Boys, replacing Glenn Campbell, who was playing bass on the road and singing Brian Wilson's vocal parts. Johnston did not start playing bass until his first tenure with the Beach Boys, and the very first vocal recording Johnston made as one of the Beach Boys was California Girls. Johnston is frequently credited as one of the original greatest supporters of the Beach Boys' 1966 signature album Pet Sounds. He flew to London in May 1966 and played the album for John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and Keith Moon, who was a Beach Boys fan. Johnston wrote several Beach Boys songs, The Nearest Far Away Place, and notably 1971's Disney Girls, which was subsequently recorded by Cass Elliot, Captain and Tenniel, Art Garfunkel, Jack Jones, and Doris Day. Johnston also sang lead on 3 songs from the 1970 Beach Boys albums Sunflower, Tears in the Morning, Didgery, and At My Window. 1972–77 solo career. Johnston left the Beach Boys in 1972 to embark on a solo career, and wrote the Billboard #1 Barry Manilow hit, I Write the Songs, for which he won a Grammy Award for Song of the Year. I Write the Songs has been recorded by over 200 artists, and it currently has a cumulative singles, albums worldwide sales figure of 25 million copies. 1978–present, return to the Beach Boys. Johnston returned to the fold in 1978 at Brian Wilson's request to appear on the album L.A. The following year he was credited as sole producer on the follow-up LP, Keepin' the Summer Alive. Johnston has remained with the Beach Boys ever since and was the only member to continue touring with Mike Love as the Beach Boys after the death of Carl Wilson. In June 2012, Johnston, Brian Wilson, Mike Love, Al Jardine, and David Marks reunited for a new album and 50th anniversary tour. Despite his long involvement with the band, he no longer has a full membership in Brother Records, having traded his shares in 1972. Johnston still retains his equal ownership of the band's ASCAP publishing company, Willow Johnston, and is the only member of the band to have earned a Grammy Award for Song of the Year. Other work. In 1967, he sang on My World Fell Down, a minor hit for the Gary Usher-led studio group Sagittarius. On his Columbia Records 1977 solo album Going Public, he scored a hit on the disco charts with a dance-oriented remake of the Chantays hit, Pipeline. Also in 1977, he vocal-arranged and sang backup vocals on Eric Carmen's LP, Boats Against the Current, and can be heard on the hit single, She Did It, on which he also arranged the vocals. In addition, Johnston wrote backing vocal arrangements and also sang on the recordings for Elton John's Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, and several songs off Pink Floyd's album The Wall. Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.